Kia ora koutou, Reese from QuickSense here, and today we're looking at midpoint of a line. Now, the way to find any midpoint, or the halfway sort of space between two numbers, is to add them together. So for example, the midpoint of, so let's just do example, the midpoint of 4 and 6, we know that's 5, right? That's the number that's in between 4 and 6. But the way we do it is we add them together and then divide it by 2. So 10 over 2 equals 5. So in this example here, right, I've got, roughly speaking, A is around here, B is around here. So what's the midpoint in terms of their x-axis? Well, it's going to be somewhere in this region here. What does that look like? Well, I add those two numbers together. So the midpoint, let's call this AB, well, that's equal to the first x, right, x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Well, x1 is going to be 7 plus -1, don't forget to put it in brackets there, divided by 2 equals 8, equals 6 over 2. Do not let that negative trip you up. All right, and now finally, that's going to give us 6 divided by 2 equal to 3. In this next question, we have to use a different skill to get into this. All right, we're going to use the distance between 2 points. And the way we would normally do that is with this equation up here. Right? X squared plus y squared. In this instance, though, we're actually going to use the difference between 2 points, right? So what does that look like? Well, it looks like, what's my x value? Well, it's x1 minus x squared. Y value, same deal, right? We're finding the difference between these 2 points, and that's going to give me quite a specific distance. We're also saying that the distance is equal to square root of 32. So what does this look like? Well, we've got 0x1 minus k squared plus 3 minus -1 squared. Okay, so 0 minus k, well, that's minus k. And minus k squared, right, that's just going to be k squared. A negative times a negative is a positive. This next one, 3 minus -1 is 4, so we have, we've still got square root. 4 squared, 16. At this point now, I can square both sides and get rid of that square root sign. I subtract 16 from both sides, and I end up with this, right? If I take the square root of both sides, then k is equal to positive minus 4. However, because k is less than 0, k must equal -4, right? That's where that's coming from. Okay, so we've got a value for k, right? So b is equal to -4, -1. Now we can find our midpoint, right? So what is the midpoint? Well, the midpoint, I'm going to need my x coordinate, my x value, and my y value. So the midpoint of the x value, well, that's x1 plus x2 over 2. x1 is 0, plus k, which is -4, over 2, which equals -2. Right, -4 divided by 2 is -2. Now I look for my, let's call this m, my y value. Same difference, we're finding the midpoint here. That's 3 plus -1 over 2. So 2 over 2 is equal to 1. So the midpoint of AB is equal to or is at -2, 1.